everybody. My name is Kim Ross-Hollingsworth, and I'm the founder of the Arts and Authors Extravaganza and Book Builders Academy, where we provide a platform for authors and artists to showcase and sell their work. Also, we teach new and current authors how to write, publish, and market their books. And tonight on Arts and Authors Talk, I have a guest that I'm going to invite on in a few minutes, Lavon Howard. And before that, I just want everyone to know that this is a bi-weekly podcast where I can get to learn a little bit more about some of our artists and authors, where I can't always find out information about you at the live events because, of course, I'm running around, and this podcast is allowing me that time to get to know you all a little bit better. If you have any questions or anything that you want to ask, please comment. That way, Lavon or myself will be able to answer those questions for you. And also, really quick, this is another tip that I've learned. If you are on right now, please hashtag live. And if you watch this video later, hashtag replay. All right. And then you can also tell us a little bit about like where you're from, where you're chiming in from. All right. But meanwhile, I would like to invite Lavon Howard on. Welcome, Lavon.
Hello, how are you?
Good. And yourself? Did I catch you chewing?
Yes, you did.
I love it. And that's one good thing I like about this show. It's laid back. And you're welcome to grab something to snack on or grab something to drink. I have my little mug here. And just enjoy the conversation. So, Lavon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, there's a lot to tell, but I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I'm Lavon Howard. I was born and raised in North Philadelphia, single parent home. And I'm pretty much a advocate, a problem solver, pretty much. And I've just been blessed and called by God to do some amazing initiatives that I started in the past almost 10 years that I never saw myself doing because I grew up bullied. I grew up being teased and being ridiculed for my voice. But now, as I got older, I turned my pain into joy. My pain, my purpose, because I wanted to help people and share things that I didn't see growing up. So that I didn't see growing up when I was a youth and now as an adult. So I know we're going to get into it tonight, but I'm going to give you a little bit of that. So that's a bit of it.
Well, I'm glad you did because that is an important detail that you did give about yourself because that's what started this all. That's what got you to the place that you are today. And, you know, like we talked about a little bit earlier about your podcast, I learned from you. Tell us about your podcast because for those of us that, you know, are watching, Lavon has a story. Go ahead. Lavon.
Yeah, so basically, I grew up pretty much. I have a speech problem. I grew up with a speech problem growing up. I was always had a hard time reading out in public and reading tests in public, and it was a struggle for me. And I was really struggling with that, honestly. And it was always been like a barrier for me, a burden for me. And I always made excuses about why I got this problem, why I got this issue, why I can't be like anyone else. But as I got older, I realized that God made me this way. So, and then as about like 4 or 5 years ago, I was getting interviews with people from starting my business path to greatness, and it suffered because I didn't see what I saw growing up, and I wanted to get that to youth that I knew growing up that I knew that was exposed to certain things that I wasn't exposed to that kind of set me back for years in terms of socially, emotionally, and psychologically. So I was on guest on radio shows, and then one day I remember I was another guest on this late show for a second time around December 2017, and then and at that interview, the lady, the owner of the show at the time, came in and asked me wanted me to do a show. I was like, no, I want to do a show. I was in the background, and I was like, no. And then opportunity came. I thought about it. I was like, let me give people a show that was different as outside the box. So, and I wanted to do called the Woman Strong to Experience radio show because that's been my favorite Bible verse about do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed in your mind. The God will appreciate what you do, and it's perfect well. And that was a favorite scripture. And that was my whole thing for Pat the Greatest. Now I could make that a radio show slash podcast, you want to call it. Right. So where I brought people on the show to talk about their experiences, how God used them and transformed them to what they're doing now. So how their journey was growing up, what experiences led to what they're doing right now. So we about to celebrate 4 years this week, and we have over 140 guests in 4 years.
That's amazing.
So basically, that no team, no engineer, the sound person, it'll be all me. So I've been like doing it, and God's been keeping me. Even though the station I love has been through a lot of changes space wise, So, but I've been kept it going because I gave always opportunity to speak about their journey that no one really knows about their journey, So
that's right.
And it's a good opportunity to just share value and share vulnerability and transparency, and also helping people get to where they want to be and elevate them to another level. That's right. Just by being on my show and just being on as a guest. So I just love what I do, and it's because I never thought 10 years ago a person with a speech problem would have his own radio show.
That's right. Well, it is a successful radio show, I might add. And I'm actually going to be on there. When is it? In about a couple weeks?
We supposed to tape next Tuesday, but we'll put on a day on a Saturday, just a special edition. So,
yes,
we let you know. So, yes, I know your weekends are active. So
exactly. But I can't wait. Now, where do you meet most of your guests? Because you have a lot of, like, from one topic all the way to another, you have a lot of guests. How do you come across them?
Pretty much, like, I've seen them on their stories on Facebook, or they might put out something or do something different, or I get referrals by different people that was on my show before. They refer me to certain people, Instagram, Facebook, and just people that I know that want to share their story. A lot of people times they go to events, they only share like part of the story, but we get opportunity to share their whole story, and just have an open dialogue in a safe space, because a lot of times people don't tell a story,
exactly,
or how they got to where they are, and it's a great tool for people to share, to learn the person behind the book, or an entrepreneur, their backstory, how they got to that place. A lot of times we don't tell a testimony. We don't only see the finished product, but there's a story behind that, a testimony that had them get to that point. A lot of people don't know they need to know about, so they can inspire someone that watches the show that's in the same predicament or been in a situation. They get out, they get listen, learn from this person how they got out of it, and help them apply that to their life, and they can move forward in their life.
I agree. Now, even though my show that I'm going to be actually on your show, it's going to be virtual, you actually have your event to where, like, your podcasts are done in person.
Yes.
So most of your people have to be local or somewhat local to attend your show.
Yeah, a lot of them for Philadelphia area. Some of them, the virtual people are pretty much been out of space, and also during the pandemic, it was virtual. A lot of people virtual. People were still coming in person. So we kept we still kept 6 feet at distance. We had people masks on. We still had a show live, and then obviously people that live out of state, we did virtually. Or if something came up, they couldn't make the studio. We set up a Zoom invite for them. You still do a live. So I mean, it's very important that people tell their story and tell their why, because you never know that your why can deliver someone that's in the same situation that you were in, that you may not know about. So that's why I call transform, not conform, because a lot of people are in a conform state of seeing things how they do it, and they need to do it this way. But now, when God transformed you to do what He called you to do, your purpose and your why, you will see a big difference, because a lot of times when you're in a conform state, you try to do things to please people, and you do things try to fit, but you end up being miserable, being sad and depressed and burdened and stressed out and burnt out. And then once you start doing what you were called to do, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of relief. It's still hard some days, but it's less hard than doing it.
It's a little bit easier.
Easier, yes.
It is.
It's
and just like with me doing this podcast, no one in a million years would have told me that I'd be doing a podcast. I learned from Erica Blocker how to start a podcast. I just wanted to level up. I wanted to take the arts and authors to another level. And you actually visited the arts and authors this past year. Was that during that was right after the pandemic, I believe.
About 2021, the summer.
Yes. Was that your first time attending?
That was my first time attending.
Wow. After all that you do, that was the first time. But you know what? That's what we always say. Timing is, it wasn't the right time. But now it's definitely the right time. I met a lot of people there. There were vendors, offers. A lot of them called them Dead Artist Cafe in November, so in September. So so to have them on my radio show. So from that event, from your event. So it's about putting yourself out there and networking. It's about the networking, the connections that you make. And that's why I always inform people, if you can get to these author events, these network, the networking and the lifetime friendships and connections that you get just by attending these events, I mean, they're priceless. It's priceless. So yes. I just encourage everybody, if you can get out to any of those events, just do it. Look at Lavon. Lavon is here on the Arts and Author Talk. I'm getting ready to attend one of his podcasts, and this never would have happened if we didn't come together at one of the events.
Right. So, and then I saw your page, you got a book out. So now I might do Authors Cafe. So yeah. So can I tell you my story? Can I tell them about? I know it's Authors Talk, and I want to talk about Authors Cafe. So
that's right.
The reason I want to talk about because we do have Authors Cafe this Saturday, the 34th one. It's gonna be at the ballroom at Community Clifton in Clifton Heights, PA. It's a Black-owned business. So basically, every Authors Cafe I had that was in person was at a Black-owned business at the time. So whether it was like now or a couple years ago, it was at a Black-owned business. So Authors Cafe started out as by accident, because at about six years ago, I was really in funk, and what happened was I had a job. I had a job, but it wasn't paying me as well, and I was on unemployment, and I wanted to do something different. So, plus I actually had 2 books out at the time, but there was no Authors Cafe, no Authors Extravaganza for me to put myself out there to sell those books, or network at a time. So I was like, maybe try to do some Authors Cafe where authors come together and talk about their books amongst each other and sell and network, and then it's funny because my first one, I was doing them at night. I was doing them on Friday nights. So wow. So that's how long ago it was. I was doing Friday nights because that was the only time I felt I can do it. Saturdays I did a lot, and now I was like, it was hard for me to rent space. So luckily, the first Artist Cafe was at my church, and my church actually just moved to another venue, and they kept the old church there. So my pastor let me use that space for free. So our first Artist Cafe was on Friday night at like 7 o'clock. I had 3 offers come, and we had about like 15, 20 people there that showed up. So I was free. I didn't charge people. I was I ain't do what I do now, but and it took off. Like it took off. Then I started doing one every couple of weeks because it was getting momentum and value from it. So, and now we about celebrate 6 years in July, and this Saturday basically I saw connections and the spirit was moving, like God was moving in these artist cafes, and like people meeting people that they never met before. People were selling books, people that thought they would never sell their books to, and a lot of people connected because me at an event, or then now we started doing our cafe days at schools, elementary schools, because and now I kind of promote literacy because a lot of our Black and brown children don't read books by us. That look like us or going through the same issues that we go through right now as young people. So that's my whole drive, because I want our Black people to know they can write a book. You have a story. You can write. It could be a children's book, it could be a fiction book, it could be biography, whatever. It could be a how-to do something book. So you had a kid there to do that. So, and now, so basically, we fast forward, if I do 34 Artist Cafe on Saturday, we have 15 offers, taking the 15 offers.
Wow. Yeah. We had about 15 when I did your Authors Cafe. I think it had to be about maybe 10, 15 people. That's when I met Holly, and it was the pastor and his wife. I actually a lot of their books.
I forgot you did one before. You're the virtual one. The virtual
I
one.
was there.
But now I get you back in person now. So so then recently the last Artist Cafe we had it in March. We had it locally right at Washington Events, like 2 minutes from my house. Wow. And now we crossed over 200 authors.
Wow.
200 authors. So we have
it's
people
amazing.
We have people that live in Atlanta, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, Jersey, Delaware that participate in this. And so it is a blessing.
They're coming from everywhere.
Because like you get to meet people that you don't see every day.
That's right.
And I give glory to God because I kept doing the events during the pandemic. I thought about stopping it because people were not getting value from it. You know what I mean? Because I thought people were not getting value from it into a virtual, because I'm like in person. I want people to sell their books. I want them to network. But when I did it online, virtually, people were still getting value from it.
Yes,
so
they were.
And now I kind of changed it up a little bit with the time frame, and just trying to make sure that we make it more professional, things like that. Because next year we'll cross over to Artist Cafe 40 next year. Wow. If it goes right, be July 2023. We Artist Cafe 40.
That's awesome.
So
go ahead.
I'm just amazed, and like now most of the books I got from people are mostly from Black people. I'm just trying to promote literacy for adults and our young people, because I heard a fact from my friend said that most of us don't read one book a year. Book a year. So outside of the books you read from school, that's what you need to do from school, but outside your personal development for your business or your journey, you read one book a year. So I'm trying to share the narrative of that, know that our kids can be exposed to people that look like them, that are doing something in the community, doing something positive in the community. A lot of times our kids see people that do things like are getting shot on violence or doing drugs or negative, but when you see someone doing something positive, that's a huge blessing. It's something different. So that's why I do Artist Cafe, promote literacy, promote networking, and support a positive village and a safe space. So just make sure people come together and network, and it's life changing for people, because I've seen like authors who met someone at an event, at one event that was doing a promoting an event. be at their event, promote their stuff at their event too.
That's
so,
right.
So it's about coming together and having the right intentions and the right mindset to do the right thing. So
that's right.
I'm just a vessel that God's using. You know what I mean? I'm not like.
I agree. That's what I say. I am.
Yeah,
I'm just a vessel.
It's not about me. It's not about the money. It could be money too, but it's not about that. It's about the bringing value to people and getting people exposed to different audiences that they would not see every day. So, like I said, all respect for this Saturday. Hope Kimberly can promote that on her page as well.
Yes,
there's a couple to come to that. That'll be a great event.
Yes. Now, Diane Sahi. Hi, Diane. I just wanted to actually let me just say hi to all these people that's on here. So, Cassandra, hello. Hey, Rita. Diane, thanks for joining us, you all. But Diane just asked, what is the address of the cafe again?
So it's 111 South Springfield Road.
Here. So you said 111?
Yes.
I'm ready.
South Springfield Road. Clifton Heights, PA, 19018.
And 19018. Okay.
I'll make sure I have the right. Hold on. Make sure I have the right. Hold on. Wait a minute.
So Diane, did you get it? Let's see. So I'm going to put it in here too. So it is 111 South and it's Springfield Road. See, I had to use my phone too because we're on different platforms. So
right. And then also that venue is it's free parking. So free parking.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, so it's on the second floor and the cost is $10. So basically what they did, and then basically each guest will get a raffle ticket. So basically each offer is going to raffle off their book at the end of the event. So if their number is called, they get to choose the book they want and they have to take a picture of that author.
Nice. Now, I just wanted to get off track just a little bit. Someone just got married recently.
Oh, there we go.
Listen.
Yes.
I follow you guys. Your beautiful wife. Tell us a little bit about your marriage and what you just did recently.
Yeah, so basically, as many of y'all know, I am married. I'm happily married and proudly married of Bobby. Well, we celebrated a year anniversary a couple weeks ago. We've been together 2 years. So I actually met her during the pandemic, 2020, when everything started shutting down, everybody had to stay home, couldn't go anywhere. So basically, I met her during the pandemic. I remember 2 months before, in January, I remember the night before. It was the night before Kobe died, and that plane crash, his daughter, and some people that died. I remember I was watching the Lakers and Sixers game that night when I think LeBron passed Kobe for all-time scoring list, and I wrote my notes on my iPhone at the time. Lord, I'm praying for a woman that I could have fun and grow with, and to learn from, because I was at a point where I was in a situationship. We was going nowhere, and now we're in this pandemic, and we didn't know how long we was gonna be home or how we gonna do things, and it's like that. So that was January 25th. 2 months later, I was up late night watching Married Children. I was on Facebook, and they were showing profile of people that you had similar friends, mutual friends that you get to know, and her name popped up, Fatima Smith. So I reached out to her, I looked at her page. I was like, oh, okay, like she's beautiful. And I wasn't thinking marriage at the time. I was thinking that I was like, hey, I could build a friendship with her. I'm good, So we started talking. we realized that we went to the same high school and college at the same time.
What?
At different times. At
Jeez.
different times. And we
Wow.
grew up in the same neighborhood. And I used to work with her siblings when they were younger while I was at City Year. So I was familiar with the neighborhood she lived there at the time. Then somehow that was March 25th, and I remember at that first conversation we had, I felt something different in my spirit that I never felt before. So, and a couple weeks later, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. Then we was dating all year, during the pandemic. We did date a couple of times, trying to do dates. Now it's only distancing, all that stuff like that. Yeah, I remember I got her the engagement ring in August. That was about 4 months, nearly 4 months in, like 5 months in.
Wow.
And I knew then, like, she was the one for me. I knew this was different. And then I wanted to marry her, but I wanted to propose to her on New Year's Day. I didn't want to do it as a pandemic, and a lot of people was going through a lot that year, and people telling me do it on Christmas and stuff like that. Like, no, I ain't doing it on Christmas. But my original plan, I wanted to do it on New Year's Eve, because I wanted to do it at my church. Because the church usually had watchline service. That was a perfect time to do it. After we did do I did the praise workshop, then pastor do a sermon, then we get in the altar and pray for the new
Bring the new year.
And then after the prayer, I was going to plan to propose to her right there. But we didn't. So we didn't have the watchman service, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. So we stayed home. So I started to do it January 1st, and I planned it for like 4 months of how I was going to do it, how it was laid out. And then I had my friends involved with reading the Proverbs 31 woman. So a whole thing like that. So I came down, I proposed to her. She said yes. And then we got married 2 months later on March 5th, 2021, on the 1 year anniversary of meeting at my church.
That's so beautiful.
And then my mom was a big supporter of my wife from the beginning, because when I told her I had a girlfriend at the time, she felt it was something different. It was different, and she was on board with it. She invited my mom. She invited her over her house over my birthday. So my mom cooked dinner for my birthday, in 2020. So, and my mom never did it for anyone. So my mom was.
You knew that was the one.
Yeah, that was the one. My mom is very protective.
If mom approves, she must be the one.
Right, and then I remember. But I proposed to her. It was so big. I couldn't believe I did this. And then I remember when I left, I came home that night. That night, my mom and my boyfriend was asleep. So I came home like late, and then I left the next morning to the radio show. I did a radio show the next morning. My mom's boyfriend told me he was so proud of me. He made me choke up. I was crying like on the train. What? Like, yeah. So we've been together for a year, and married for a year. I'm telling you, Kim, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff.
It is.
It's a lot.
It's a learning process every day.
Process, and also it's a lot with communication, because
you have to communicate.
For years, I'm only child. I really had friends. I was bad with communication. Yes. So now, with being with someone that's close to her, like my wife, I relearn myself, retrain my whole, undoing so many things I used to do, So,
but one thing I like that you're doing is you went to counseling.
Yes, I'm still in counseling,
and I think it's needed sometimes, because you need that neutral person, because to help you communicate. Sometimes you definitely do,
and I feel like, and we actually went to Irish therapy before we got married, and actually after. We have a life coach and Focus James that we meet every Monday night to plan our legacy and go over stuff that we are planning, things like that. And then also we started going to our own therapist. So there had some issues that came up during the marriage that she felt you was over with. But now, once you say I do, it counts back up through
That's right.
different ways, and you have to work on that stuff. And I feel that therapy is imperative for couples.
It is very.
Because you don't get help for what you're dealing with, it's going to go downhill around the help.
Agree.
And I feel that that's why I tell couples, because it really helped me a lot, because our first year was ups and downs, but we kind of enjoyed because it was a learning experience, and growing experience for me, because I'm a totally different person than I was a year ago, because I didn't think about therapy. I didn't think I was going to be the same way, and I thank God that, I was allowed to go therapy that I wanted to better myself, because I think therapy is to better yourself, not to label you as you crazy or a psycho.
Exactly.
Therapy to help you. I think you need a person that don't know you to tell straight to like it is, and tell you the truth, and help you be accountable, and make sure you can merit your responsibility for your actions, and also starting other things like speaking affirmation of yourself, speaking life of yourself. A lot of times we kind of like indirectly speak doubt and speak fear and anxiety instead of speaking life for yourself, being positive, optimistic. Sometimes we have to be mindful of what we say out of our mouths, because the Bible says that out of the mouth will come curse or blessing. You can't do both. You got to choose what you want to do, and your words have power. Your words have power. And
they definitely do.
And you have to be mindful what you say come out of your mouth, because it's very important that you never know who's listening, who's watching you.
That's
because
right.
You get a blessing from your words, or you could get a curse based on your words.
I agree. And you have a lot of youth watching you. You definitely you're definitely a role model. So you have to make sure that whatever you do, you keep things on the up and up, and you keep them straight, because you have a lot of young people that, are looking up to you.
That's right.
Didn't you start a YouTube channel, you and your wife?
Yes. We got a YouTube channel called Hanging with the Howards. Basically, basically last year we started it as we interview couples who are married, on their journey during the marriage, and we took a little hiatus because we didn't know what to do with it.
I thought it was so cute.
So now last couple Sundays before yesterday, we did like a real deal marriage part 1 and 2 about our first year of marriage. So basically, we put us out there. We were vulnerable. We were real, transparent about our first year, what we dealt with, and trying to inspire couples or people who are trying to get married or trying to get back in the dating scene. Know that this is real. This is real life. It's not hunky-dory. It's not Disney. This is real life. And we try and promote like healthy relationships, because in the day, it's not about marriage. It's not about making money and having sex. It's about building a legacy and make sure your partner is healthy mentally and emotionally, because a lot of times we get all that. We get for all that. We get in the day, we're still human beings. We still have to grow and evolve and live our purpose. We had to do that. We had to make sure that you have someone that's going to push you and pray for you and hold you accountable and motivate you to do your best. And your words have power. You can't devalue your partner or degrade your partner. You got to uplift them, you know what I mean, and encourage them on a regular basis. So we are doing
if you want it to be long term. If you want to sustain it, you have to work at those things.
Exactly. I grew up in a place growing up. I didn't see a lot of married couples. I didn't see a lot of marriage growing up. To my neighbor, I didn't see that. I see a lot of unhealthy relationships. I seen a lot of stuff going on that I didn't like. I didn't see. And I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to make sure that this woman that I married was the one for me. And it was a lot. It was a lot to process. A lot of prayer, and a lot of support. And just the love we and her got for the wedding, for after we got engaged, and it was amazing. We did our engagement. So basically, we had over like 1,000 views on YouTube.
I know. I saw.
And we did it on Friday. It was crazy. It was crazy. And it was totally insane.
I said, Hanging with the Howards, man, that's going to be a popular show.
Right. And we are trying to figure out what we want to do. Maybe the clubhouse, maybe it's RDO, maybe just because we want to promote positive relationships for couples, and we want to help people that unfortunately went through divorce, went through trauma, for them, help them find love again. Because
right.
I feel like the first thing you gotta do is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, and not that. And because in the day, forgiveness for yourself, and you gotta take accountability for what part you did. That even though you might not did nothing, you might did anything wrong. You still take accountability. You gotta figure something out there. You gotta figure out what you want and what you don't want.
Exactly. Because just like with my book and my life that I've gone through, married 3 times before the age of 40, I had a story. I knew I had a story, but even though it didn't, like the first 2 didn't necessarily have anything to do with me per se, in reality, it did have something to do with me because I allowed it to happen. Well, not the first one, of course, coming out the closet, that's all him. But the second one, I allowed myself to stay in that relationship as long as I did. And, instead of getting out of it, especially knowing that trouble was lurking very early on within the relationship. Right. So in a way, yes, it was me. So I do take full accountability for that. And then, now that I found myself, I took time out 2 years before I met my current husband. I found myself. I learned my likes. I learned my dislikes. I learned what I wanted to tolerate. I knew what I didn't want to tolerate. And it worked out so much better this time around. And that's why I can say we've been together 20 years and married for 15 years.
Cool. Amen.
Because if I didn't do it that way, which I have no regret, God knows what he's doing, I never would have found what I have now if I didn't go through all those steps. I didn't have to necessarily take that long way around, but that's what I teach in my book that I wrote. We can avoid a lot of unnecessary circumstances if we just pay attention to the red flags.
The red flags. I would say you pay attention to the yellow flags. The yellow ones. Before to get the red. Before he gets the red, you got to be mindful for the yellow ones too. The yellow ones. It might lead to red. You got to make sure the yellow ones first. And I feel like you have to examine yourself. You got to figure out what you got to figure out. Do this person make me happy? Despite me, if they get on your last nerve, do you still want to make them happy? And
this is another thing that I learned, Lavon. You have to realize that's part of it, but you have to take care and you have to love yourself. You have to make yourself happy. Right. If you make yourself happy, everything else will follow. And this was something my mom used to say back in the day. You do what you have to do, and eventually either they're going to, what was that saying? They're going to jump on the bandwagon or they're going to go somewhere else, some kind of way that she said it. But it's true. If you do what you're supposed to do, everything else will eventually fall into place. But you can't live for someone else. You can't make that other person. I mean, you can do everything you can to make them happy. I mean, try to make them happy. But if they don't have it in them that they want to be happy with what you're doing, you can't live for that person. And you just have to do what you have to do, but you have to still respect that other person, and you have to do what is best that you can, make them happy. But happiness is within.
Right. Thing. I meant to say that does that person enhance your happiness? You know what I mean?
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Enhance it, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what it's about making yourself happy first and making so that you're taking care of yourself and making sure you smile. You're smiling, in the day. You know what I mean? It's about
that's right.
It's about that. It's about that.
I agree. Well, Lavon, this is some good word here. And also, I think you and we were trying to get the youth involved with the arts and authors too.
Yes,
we're still gonna work on that.
Yeah, we are working. We are trying to do like a youth offers cafe as a edition, something or something
Yes,
where all youth come together, all the children's always come
exactly.
together. Just to share nuggets, to share wisdom. Also, bring some kids there that want to learn how to process to write a book, and then maybe
Yes,
we can have a publishing company. Publisher can bless them with a free. They can get their covering art illustrations and stuff for free,
exactly.
I definitely want our youth to see other offers, you know what I mean? Just
Yes,
that look like them. They
that look
actually
like
want a book
them. Exactly.
because a lot of times our kids sadly don't read. They don't read. Like,
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like outside of school stuff, they gotta read, like
right.
homework and classwork and projects. They want they
They
don't
look
want
at the cell phone and
the cell phone and
and
TikTok all
social
day.
media. Oh, I read. No, you didn't. You you read somebody's
TikTok,
post.
and then
You read a comment.
right, and then as as
That's
as
not reading.
as much as long they get engaged and the further get engaged in that, they start writing out like they see in social media. They write
That's right.
LOL. They wrote they short words and that's what do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot. That's why we want to promote literacy and make sure our youth understand that literacy is important. It's
That's right.
fundamental. And you can get so much further in life if you read books that you enjoy or
Yeah,
also things that you passionate about. If
that's
you want to
right.
read a cooking book, read a cooking book. You know what I mean? You don't read
That's
a whole
it.
book all day. You don't read a whole book all day. It takes only 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day
Yep.
read a book. That could be one chapter, one
Yes.
15 minutes a day, because it's very important that our kids read a book and understand what's going on and also comprehend what they're talking about. Because I think the
Yes.
school system, they focus on K to third grade reading levels. Then somehow from fourth through eighth grade, they disappear. And then
Yeah.
some sadly go in ninth grade saying like, I don't know how to read. But you know how to read third grade. But where those
Mm-hmm.
5 years, that 5 year gap, you lost a idea for reading,
Yeah.
So and that's why we want to do something like this where we have books for young people that can get that reemerge their passion for reading, and
That's
they
right.
see someone that's local, that's in person,
Yep.
that can understand, oh, this person looks like me, grew up in the same neighborhood, and wrote a book. If they
Yes.
write a book, I will definitely read their book and
Exactly. They'll most
and then
likely
juice
read it.
flowing.
Yeah.
This is an idea. I want to do this, that, and third. Get
Yep.
the ideas flowing. That's what it's about.
And then if it's something that they want to write about that they
Mhm.
don't see, that's something that can encourage them to write their own book.
Absolutely.
Because there's some books out there. I mean, there's a lot of books out there, but then there's some books that they don't see that, they could possibly tell the story.
Right.
So,
That's why hopefully, with my job right now that I will have some local authors come one day,
that's
like
right.
doing half day or doing a program to read a book to them. Get their mind off like their phones or when to go to the gym. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so just give them something different. That's why
Yeah.
I am doing an event on May 7th, a youth symposium where we're going to have an Artist Cafe experience for students K to fourth grade. They're going to be exposed to 4 local authors doing activities and also doing hearing their story.
Yes.
So give them something different on Saturday that's positive, that's
That's
different,
right.
and promote that reading and promote that get those juices flowing for the ideas so they can write books on that, or
Exactly.
also get started on writing their own story.
Yep. And that's what Diane said, keep them engaged. She
Yes.
said that's something that we have to do is keep the children engaged. And like my daughter, she's an artist. So that's why I always put the artist in there somewhere. My youngest daughter, she can draw her butt off. So I have to include the artist. So the artists and the authors. So we want just strictly youth at this event. I mean, of course, adults come,
The parents will
but
be there,
we're not going to have adult vendors at this event. So anyone that attends is going to be an artist or an author, and they're going to be between the ages of, what would you say? Because we haven't even, worked out all the kinks. But
Well, we need
I would
a
just
meeting.
say,
We need
because
a meeting about that. How we gonna pull this off? Because I'm thinking like, I'm
I'm going to have a hall. I got to get a venue.
Right. I'm trying to see if we can do it before the school year starts, or like something like that.
Yes.
August, while it's still a little warm. I don't want to do it in the winter.
Oh no.
Then hopefully we can do it in
I
Philly.
hibernate in the winter.
Right. Right. Hopefully we can promote that, because a lot of times we can do like 5 to maybe
18.
Exactly.
Like 5 to 18.
Right. Also be vendors, and then you can have people that perform, that sing, that draw.
Listen, I can do it.
Poetry, you know what I mean? Like,
that's it.
Someone that can sing, that play guitar,
and they're all going to be youngsters, because we have the arts and authors. That's all, it's a mixture of age. But with this particular event, we're going to have all poets and singers that are between the ages of 5 and 18. That's going to do some things. So I believe that that's going to be, Diane said that's a perfect age and she likes it. And I just like you said, we have to keep these children engaged.
Right. So it's so much going on right now that's negative, that they like social media, and like growing up, we didn't have social media. We basically we went outside and we did our thing. Exactly. There's a lights came on, we were back in the house. We always did homework. We gotta do our homework before we went outside. You gotta make sure your parents checked your homework. They say, "Oh, this is right," or you had to do it over.
It's so true. And then and sometimes you couldn't even go outside during the weekdays.
Right, you're right.
You can only go outside on the weekend because you were studying most of the time.
Right. Then also, then the only day, I know certain days you grow up, you go outside for a little bit. Then I know on Sundays you didn't go outside. On Sundays you not go outside. On Sundays you never go outside. Like even if it was a nice day.
Do.
Right. Yeah, nothing to do.
To do.
Right. Yeah. We had shore responsibility, and then now it's like we didn't have no cell phones. We had to talk to people. We had to go across the street and talk to people, and also use the telephone and actually remember the numbers. Remember the numbers you dialed.
Exactly.
So these kids are a very different generation right now. There's so much technology involved. It's kind of like hitting their true growth. Some of them, you know what I mean?
They're overweight because of the video games, and they're not getting exercise. But you know what? We can't put 100% blame on them because of the society and things that are happening out here. Because to tell you the truth, I don't even want my grandkids outside half the time. Not unless I'm sitting there watching them.
Right. That's sad, because like you can't have them be on the front step anymore. You never know the bullet coming or hear gunshots is over. Like you can't trust them.
It really is sad.
That's to go to the playground. You know what I mean? Go to the playground. You know what I mean? Like they kind of can't even go to the corner store. You know what I mean? Or do a favor for you.
Exactly. So I believe that this event is going to be great for them, and I definitely can't wait to partner with you on that.
Yeah, we got to find a date we can plan, talk, and get all the stuff
about it.
Yeah, because it's definitely happening, because it's definitely needed.
It's definitely needed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely needed.
And then we can find something for the parents, and for like maybe workshops, or maybe support them.
There you go.
Mental health or self-care. What I mean? Because we could also,
and it's all
right. Because that could be like wellness, too for parents. They get like massages or what I mean, or like neck massages or something like that for like 15 minutes. Like I don't know how much it costs, but just have them talk and have them work out some issues. You know what I mean? Because some of them have issues too that kind of hinder their relationship with their child. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like so if they figure out how to get through the issue, how to handle it, they'll be better for their child. They'll be approachable, they'll be available for their child. You know what I mean? Yep. Especially those kids who are teenagers, or kids who are going for a lot of trauma. You know what I mean? Because they don't see and they can work on their stuff and work on their issues first, and then they can be bad parents for their kids as they get older because they find a way how to navigate through that so their child can learn from them.
I agree. I agree. And Diane said here, she said, kids have a lot to say. They need a safe place to share their thoughts and their feelings. And that's the truth. That is the truth. And I know this event will be successful, especially for it's they need an outlet. And to me, this will be a great outlet for them. But I like that. Now, where can you put, or just let everyone know where they can find your work, your books, your the podcast and everything?
Okay, I'm gonna show you my book. I forgot. I got a couple of books
here. I know we forgot about the book. Yeah. Now you have something. You give your book away to some. Explain what you do with that. Like, if they're on your show or something like that, or if they sign up for a package of yours.
So I'm working on that right now. So I'm actually working on trying to get my books more out because a lot of people don't know that I'm an author. So a lot of times they see Always Cafe, your host, but actually wrote 3 books and I co-wrote another one. I was a forward for another book. So so basically these are my books. It's called Release. My first book I wrote is basically poetry and affirmations that I wrote while I was in college. While I was in college at Western University, and I saved them in my hard drive at a time. And 2 of my friends encouraged me to visit a book. And this is the book right here. I think it's 10 years since I published this book. It's called Release. A lot of people don't know I was a poet back in the day. So, and there's this Pat the Great. There's pretty much 2 tools for you to be great while they're successful in their youth. Basically, I talk about like different things our youth deal with, like kind of like peer pressure, sex, puberty, things that our people deal with. I give a spiritual component to it, and also share my expertise on that. So that I wrote this in 2013, and this also the Pat the Great story, basically how my business started. So what I'm gonna do is I have a flyer out with all my books that I'll send it to you as well, where people can get the books online. And I'm planning to start doing more events and put my books out there because a lot of them, or add to it, because there's a lot of things I learned for the years that need to be said in there. So I really want people to know my work and know the value I put into the books, because that's very important that our young people have a spiritual development into that, and also learn about affirmations, learn about the truth, and about speaking life into yourself. So I do have one pager on that, and also as far as me, I'm on Instagram at Lavon1021. My business page, Pat the Greatest, is PTG 11113. Facebook, Lavon Howard. I'm in the picture with Muhammad Ali when I was 8 years old, so it's easy to find me a picture of him. And I have Always Cafe page, Roll Strong to Experience Real Show page, and I have Moments. I have Hang with the Howards page as well. So you can find me. I'm very easy to find, so it's not private or anything like that. And then also I'm on LinkedIn, Lavon Howard as well. And also pretty much like we do have a website. It's on PTG. It's on path to PATH the number 2 grade.org. So I need to update that website. So
and I think I have most of them in the comments.
Still there.
At the bottom of the video.
Right. Because it's funny. And then we are on YouTube. We do have Always Cafe page. We do have Woman Strong to Experience page. All the guests that's on our show, the interviews. And we do have a Hang with the Howards page, obviously on YouTube. So we are trying. I'm trying to mainstream it, try to update it, and just make it more feasible for y'all to look at, because we've been I've done a lot in the past almost 10 years. And it's like so much time has passed. Like, you don't think about how grateful you are for doing the work you have done. So that's why that's why a lot of people say, you need to put books out there. You need to sit, So I definitely want to put books out there more. I want to relaunch my books and sell them and tell my story and just know my journey, where I am today and see the evolution from where I was in college to now, So, and also talk about the Patagonia story, and also hopefully me and my wife will write a book about our journey, how we got married.
Nice.
During the pandemic, and how God lined things together, how during the pandemic and and how two different people from North Philly got married, for different backgrounds, different experiences, and how the Lord had blessed us, and how God's kept us the whole 2 years being together, but 1 year being married. Because marriage, like I told you earlier, it's not easy. It's not for the faint. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll say that. It's for those who really want to do the work, who really want to get uncomfortable, undoing yourself, your old ways, your old stances, your old boundaries to invite someone into your life. It's a lot. Especially if you are from the only child syndrome like me. It was a lot. I'm still doing a lot. So it's a process. It's a
really
growth.
Is.
And you had to really do the work, and you had to get help. You had to surround yourself with a village of people, a positive village of people that's going to help you, that's going to support you, that's going to love you, that's going to uplift you, hold you accountable. Because your wife or husband can't be everything to you. You need them people to talk to about certain things, like about certain things, because they can't be everything to you. You gotta have outlets that are positive, that you can look up to, that you can vent to or talk to, get like 15 minutes, help you get strategy to think about how to respond to this, how to react to this, because your wife or husband can't be everything to you. You have to have outlets of people that you could talk to. That's why I highly recommend people going to therapy, going to counseling before marriage and during the marriage, because the devil doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
You have a point there.
You had to have a right frame of mind. You had to have a growth mindset. You had to have the right people in place that's going to help you grow and help you elevate to that level. Because marriage is a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
And you have to communicate. You have to be flexible. You have to be patient. You have to learn how to listen. Sometimes you have to learn to keep your mouth shut. Sometimes.
Amen.
Sometimes you might have the right answer, but it's not the right answer.
It's not the right time to give that.
Right on the right time. That's correct. On the right time. That's correct. Yep. And you gotta learn how to be quiet sometimes. That's and sometimes you gotta learn how to be silent. So sometimes your partner wants you to just be quiet. They don't want you to fight. They want you to just listen. That's it.
Listen. Yep. And this is stuff that I had to learn over time. And I still struggle. And my husband's watching upstairs. I know he's probably listening. But
he bought our sister's game right now. So he
you know what? You're right. But I just had to learn how to. I'm a Taurus the bull. So first of all, I always got to have the last word, which he says it all the time. But I had to learn over time to just pick and choose your battles. Right. I don't have the energy to argue anymore. I just don't. It's like, if you want to be mad, okay. Get with me when you calm down. But I just don't have the energy anymore.
Right.
And it's like, these are things that you have to learn. These are things that you have to mature into. And like you said, if you can't fix these relationships, get someone, go get help, go get counseling and fix them. But if it's fixable, because like I said, a couple of my relationships wasn't fixable. But if it's fixable, fix it. Go get a counselor, go get therapy. We used to think back in the day that therapy was a bad word. It's not.
It's not.
It's not a bad word. It's not something that, we don't and I know Linda's on here because I just saw her pop on here, and she'll tell you in a minute. Oh, hold on, let me see, because there's some comments on here. Y'all getting me. She'll tell you because she's a bully advocate. So it's like therapy is definitely needed. Tiara, she's on here. Hey, Tiara. She said, absolutely, been married going on 9 years. And let me see. Linda said, hi, Kim. Hey, Lavon. I knew she was on here. Yep. Tiara said, not the right time. So she was probably talking about when you start arguing or when you have to sometimes keep your mouth shut. That's probably what she's referring to.
That's right.
And Linda said the devil is busy, yet can't always blame the devil. People have to also take accountability. We already conquered that one, Linda. Yep, you are definitely right. Linda said, hi, Gene. You know he's watching. Yes, pick and choose your battles. I no longer fuss about the trash. Tiara, I still fuss about the trash, but but I don't have to fuss anymore because he knows automatically. If I take the bag out and I sit it by the trash can, it means you got to take it out. So you don't have to fuss about certain things anymore. She started laughing. Let me see. Then it said, but you and Jean have communication. There's a must. That's a must. We definitely have communication. But Linda, we've been together 20 years. I mean, we learned how to communicate because it's a work in progress. Now he doesn't even want to argue with me either. So we just just give each other some space. We'll be back around, meet back around, afterwards. But Linda said therapy is a good thing. Diane said meant you were weak. I'm not sure what she meant by that because, we've been talking. I have 3 different therapists. Go ahead, Tiara. She has 3 different therapists. Linda said, hey, y'all, I'm here. I've been married 33 years. Yes, she has. Woo, 33 Amen. Years. So you have to teach us some things, Linda. Therapy is good, Diane said. And Tiara said, my husband will walk right past it sometimes and say, I didn't see it. Now I put his shoes right on top. LOL. You know what? That's a good thing. That's something I would do. It's like, no, that's something I did back in the day. No, I didn't do that. I didn't have to do that. But it's true. But yes. So, I mean, as you can see, this marriage thing is no joke.
It's not.
It's no joke. And we have to do whatever we can to get that communication rolling.
Right. And the most important thing about marriage is God has to be at the core of your marriage.
He has to be in the midst of everything.
He's not there. It's not going to last. I'm telling you. That's the truth. I'm telling you, you can't fake it. You can't fake it. You know what I mean? If God calls you to be together with him or her, you got to keep it at the center of at the core of your marriage. I agree. It's necessary.
And that's what I said about my first 2 marriages.
Right.
I didn't choose. I chose them. It wasn't like God gave them to me. So I knew deep down inside, I knew that wasn't going to last. But this time I feel as though, I took that 2-year break. I was praying about things. I knew what I wanted, in a man. I found myself. I knew what my likes were, what my dislikes were, because I got married when I was 19 years old. So basically from 19 years old, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my likes was, what my likes weren't. I left home at 19. So, and then married to him, in my first husband for we were high school sweethearts, and then I wind up married to him, and I think we were married for a good 5 years, maybe 6 years,
Mm-hmm. Right.
before he decided to come out the closet.
Oh
So
wow.
then, yeah,
Wow.
you got to read the book. And
Mm.
then the second one was a rebound because, I thought something was wrong with me. Like, what is wrong with me that my, ex-husband didn't find me attractive? I didn't know if that was the case. I didn't know if it was, I wasn't woman enough for him. I don't know what it was, but I was on a rebound and went to the second husband.
Okay.
So, and he was almost 6 years older than me. So not only was I looking for a husband, I was looking for a father figure too, probably. But these are things that came out within me writing my book. And when people say that writing is therapeutic, it really is therapeutic.
It is, absolutely.
Because after writing that book out and everything, that was another way of me finding out what my likes were, what my dislikes were, what I was going to tolerate, what I wasn't going to tolerate within my next relationship. And now I know for a fact that Gene was God. He was given to me by God, because anything that's given to you by God, it will last. And that's why I do believe we've lasted 20 years and still going strong. I can still look at my husband and thank God that I have him, and still smile, still look at him with admiration. And, whereas if he wasn't given to me by God, that wouldn't be happening. And I know that for a fact. So I appreciate you and your wife for, going that extra mile and doing what you're doing with Meet the Howards. And
yes. Thank you so much.
Just trying to encourage people with their relationships and everything. And I'm just wishing nothing but good things for you with that. And I'll be watching, because I did watch your episode, your 1 year anniversary episode. I thought that was really cool. And I like the fact that you had a narrator.
Yes, focus. Yes, yeah. We kept going.
I thought that was so cool. So let me see here. Just making sure I didn't miss any questions. So Tiara said, marriage overall is amazing. He is my best friend. I wouldn't change anything. He stuck by my side after 3 open heart surgeries, and a heart transplant, and didn't miss a beat, and still caters to me. I'm so grateful. Every day I'm reaffirmed that God sent him to me, and I agree. My husband is deaf. This is Linda talking. And most my husband is deaf, and most can't advise me too much unless know what it's like to be deaf, disabled, and sick. Most cannot relate. I read Kim's book. It's encouraging. And yes, she did. Linda read that book in I think it was like a day, maybe 2 days. Congratulations to you all for successful marriages. Thank you, Linda. And I'm always praying for you. Always praying for you. And Lavon, it has been a pleasure talking with you. I mean, really a pleasure. And I just want to know, do you have anything else that's coming up in the works?
Right now, like I said, we got an office cafe on Saturday. Saturday, like I said, 34, as aforementioned. April 30th, we are doing our Pad the Greatest Youth session on Zoom, virtual edition. We are going to have talk about mental health. We're going to talk about art therapy, and also talk about what else? Work ready for 2022 for those who want to work this summer. We are someone that's expert. Come on there and talk about how to do application, things like that. That's April 30th from 4 to 5:30. Okay. Then Sunday we have our monthly man talk for men. every first Sunday of the month on Zoom. So any husbands out there, that want to be around a village of men that talk about things that there are issues as men, that'll be a great platform for you getting on 5:30 to 7 on Zoom. And then May 7th is our youth symposium. So, then the next event following that right now is August Cafe 2035 in July 23rd. And also me and my wife are doing our third episode. We don't know what time it's going to be. I think it'll be on Sunday, but we don't know the time. So we'll let you know no later than tomorrow what time that will be and the topic that will be. But I hope y'all can support us. The Youth Symposium on May 7th is a free event for youth for 5 to 18, for middle school. We're going as a free event, workshops. We are doing man talk for young boys, lady talk for the girls, workshop for the parents. We are also always carrying experience for students K with 4th grade. We only have 80 slots. So basically it's a free event. So you basically go on bit.ly/PTG Youth and register your youth today. Register today is a free event. It's at John Welsh on 4th and York in North Philadelphia. So we got a lot going on, but we got our radio show, Woman Strong to Experience radio show, Saturdays, so we might be virtual, maybe from home, might be in person, but we are still doing it. So
awesome. Well, we're going to make sure that all those links and all those events are listed at the bottom, just in case there's anyone who would like to attend or watch or participate. We'll definitely have the information for you. And also, before we go, I want to let everyone know that this is a bi-weekly show. So May 2nd, we're going to have Chandalyn Kelly DeVita. She's going to be joining us at 7 p.m. on May 2nd. And just so you all know, if you still have questions, please list them at in the comment section, and Lavon or myself will be able to answer those questions for you. And I just want to thank everybody for watching, for asking us questions. I thank you, Lavon, for joining us. You are so inspiring. And, I really, really like what you're doing, with the Authors Cafe, with the youth. I mean, just keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. And, I'm going to be watching. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And I can't wait until we do something together as far as the youth is concerned.
Yes, indeed. Well. Yes, indeed.
And don't forget, August 21st is the Arts and Authors 11th annual Arts and Authors Extravaganza. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey from 3 to 9 p.m. We already have about 55, 60 people, vendors actually, that's already attending. And I'm not going past 65, 70. So if there's anybody who is looking to attend as an author or an artist, I need for you to get your information in as soon as possible. The link will be at the bottom. And I just can't wait to see you all. And Lavon, do you have any last words for us before we go?
I just want to say, keep God first. Keep God first. Speak life over yourself every single day, and that your only limit is yourself.
I agree. The only limit is yourself. And I just want to thank you all for watching, and I thank you, Lavon, for being here. Thank you so much, and you all have a good night. Hey, that was good.
Yeah.